Well, we have had it confirmed from Downing Street this afternoon that the government is pushing to cut a deal with the EU over the issue of these tariffs, trying to reduce the kind of cliff edge impact which the car manufacturers are so worried about. The Prime Minister himself is on the plane on the way to Japan for the G7. A pack of travelling reporters are with him, including our political editor Beth Rigby. And they asked the Prime Minister what he makes of these concerns from the car companies about the issue of Brexit, these calls to renegotiate the deal, and also broader concerns about the impact on the economy, including Nigel Farage saying he believes that Brexit has been a failure. The Prime Minister hit back at this pretty passionately by the sounds of things, insisting that he voted for Brexit, that he believes in Brexit, and that as Prime Minister he insists he is delivering on the economic Brexit benefits as well. He gave a whole list of what those are, including, he claims, free port, deregulation of financial services, and also he says there are plans, which we've heard a lot of talk about recently, to reform the Working Time Directive. He insists that that will save UK businesses billions of pounds. He also talked about reforming and repealing 2,000 pieces of EU retained law, which is a very delicate matter for the Prime Minister, because when he was campaigning to be leader of the party, he did actually pledge to scrap all 4,000 pieces of legislation. There was a U-turn on that last week, which many of his backbenchers are extremely angry about, but the government effectively realised they didn't have time to deliver that. He also gave a very upbeat narrative on the economy overall to reporters, talking about a survey recently carried out by some 4,000 CEOs who said the UK was their #1 investment location in Europe. The fact that in Japan he's going to be announcing plans for £18 billion in investments. I think that's rather optimistic, given that we know from the latest figures that the UK economy shrank by 0.3% in March, and it's the only one of the G7 which hasn't recovered its pre-pandemic level. He was also asked about Liz Truss's trip to Taiwan, which she helpfully made just on the eve of his trip to Japan. That clearly is quite concerning for Downing Street. It's a very delicate part of the world, and it's not necessarily very helpful to have a former Prime Minister freelancing on foreign policy, but he seemed fairly not unconcerned by that, and just reiterated the line that the UK has a strong alliance with other countries in its position on Taiwan.